It's 2 a.m. You're lying in bed, eyes wide open. The room is quiet, but your brain is anything but. It's replaying a conversation from 3 years ago where you said you too when the waiter told you to enjoy your meal. But it doesn't stop there. Now you're calculating whether you can afford rent next month, wondering if that text from your friend was passive-aggressive, questioning every major life decision you've ever made, and somehow, without warning, thinking about how the universe will eventually go cold and empty. If this feels familiar, you're not broken, you're not dramatic, and you're definitely not alone. But what you are is more psychologically complex than you've probably been told. We're taught that overthinking at night is a problem, a flaw, something to fix with supplements, breathing exercises, or the right playlist. As if your mind is just malfunctioning after dark. But what if your nighttime mental spiral isn't random at all? What if it's actually your brain trying to protect you in the only way it knows how? During the day, your mind is distracted. Emails, conversations, responsibilities, noise. But at night, when the world goes quiet and you're finally alone, your brain takes the opportunity to bring up the questions you've been avoiding. The ones you don't have time for when you're busy pretending everything is fine. At its core, overthinking is about control. Your brain believes that if it can think hard enough, long enough, thoroughly enough, it can prevent bad things. Psychologists call this hypervigilance, and it's rooted in anxiety, but not the loud, panicky kind. This is the quiet, calculating anxiety that says, if I mentally rehearse every possible outcome, I won't be blindsided by pain. You send a text to someone you care about. They don't respond for a few hours. A calm mind might assume they're busy, but your mind starts building a full internal investigation. Did I say something wrong? Was my tone off? Did I come across as needy? Should I follow up? Should I pull away forever? You're not being irrational. You're trying to manage uncertainty because uncertainty feels dangerous, and chances are, this habit worked for you once. Maybe growing up being hyper-aware of moods helped you avoid conflict. Maybe anticipating problems kept you emotionally safe. So your brain learned a rule early on. Thinking equals safety. Even now, when the danger is gone, the pattern stays. But night overthinking isn't just about fear of external problems. It often circles around something much more personal. The gap between who you are and who you think you should be. Psychologists call this self-discrepancy, the space between your actual self and your ideal self. During the day, you can distract yourself. You can perform competence. You can wear the mask of I've got it together. But at night, that mask comes off. You're face to face with every version of yourself you haven't become yet. The career you imagined, the confidence you thought you'd have by now, the clarity you assumed. You replay moments where you stayed silent, where you didn't stand up for yourself, where you said yes when you meant no. And beneath all of that thinking is a quieter, heavier question. What if I'm not enough, and what if I never will be? Your brain keeps spinning because it's trying to solve a problem that doesn't have a clean solution. To understand why this runs so deep, you have to look back. Think about your childhood, especially the moments when you felt unseen. Maybe you were praised only when you performed well. Maybe you were the peacekeeper in a chaotic home, always reading the room, always trying to anticipate emotional shifts. Or maybe you were just sensitive, someone who felt things deeply and replayed moments long after they happened. Well, in those formative years, you learn whether your worth feels stable or conditional. If love, attention, or safety depended on getting things right, you learned to monitor yourself closely. You analyzed, you rehearsed, you adjusted. It helped you survive. But it also taught your nervous system that letting your guard down is risky. So now, even when you're safe in bed at night, your brain doesn't rest. It patrols. It scans for mistakes. Because to your nervous system, overthinking isn't the problem, it's the solution. Here's the part that's uncomfortable to hear. Most people don't overthink at night because they're worried about specific problems. They overthink because they're avoiding something deeper. When you're spiraling about money, relationships, or the future, it feels productive, like you're doing something useful. But often, you're distracting yourself from existential anxiety, the awareness that life is finite, that meaning isn't guaranteed, that no amount of planning can give you total control. So your brain latches onto smaller, more manageable worries, social interactions, regrets, hypothetical scenarios, things that feel solvable if you just think hard enough. But beneath it all is the question you're avoiding. Am I living a life that actually matters to me? And what if the answer is no? Nighttime makes this worse because it strips away distraction. In the dark, in the quiet, mortality becomes harder to ignore. During the day, you're busy moving, doing, performing. At night, there's stillness. And in that stillness is the quiet reminder that this is temporary. All of it. For overthinkers, that awareness doesn't bring peace. It brings urgency. Have I done enough? Have I loved enough? Have I wasted time? So your brain starts reviewing your life like evidence in a trial, searching for proof that your existence has weight, that you're not just passing through unnoticed. But meaning doesn't come from mental checklists, and your mind can't think its way into certainty. So the spiral continues. Now here's the plot twist. What if overthinking at night isn't a weakness? What if it's a sign of emotional and cognitive depth? You're not someone who drifts through life on autopilot. You notice patterns, you reflect, you care about the impact you have on others. Research shows that people who overthink often score higher in empathy, problem solving, and emotional awareness. Your mind isn't trying to sabotage you, it's trying to protect you, to make sure you don't miss something important, to prevent you from repeating old mistakes. The issue isn't that you think too much, it's that you've been using thinking as a shield instead of a compass. You stay in analysis because action feels riskier than rumination. So maybe the real question isn't why do I stop overthinking at night, but what is this overthinking trying to tell me? What conversation are you avoiding? What decision are you postponing? What part of your life feels misaligned but hasn't been acknowledged yet? Overthinking persists when something inside you wants change but hasn't been listened to. Tonight, when your mind starts racing, what if you didn't fight it? What if you wrote the thoughts down instead of trying to silence them? Not to solve them, but to witness them. To ask yourself what you're actually afraid of in that moment. Because maybe your nighttime overthinking isn't your enemy. Maybe it's the most honest part of you, finally speaking when the noise dies down. You're not broken for overthinking at night. You're trying to make sense of a life that doesn't come with instructions. And maybe that restlessness, that questioning, that refusal to sleep through your own existence isn't a flaw at all. Maybe it's proof that you're awake.